Hello everyone. Hello to all my replay viewers. How you guys doing today? Hello. How you doing? This is Adelaide Brown with Be Blessed Daily. Hey Melody, how you doing? Thanks so much for coming in. I am so excited. I got my hair flying today. It was hot, so I just decided to just let it all fly. Hey Vanessa, how you doing? I'm so happy to see you ladies on the Saturday afternoon. How you doing? Yes, this is our Saturday scoop. Yes, we're trusting the process today, guys. We are anchored in the process. Yes, thank you so much. I'm good. Are you? I am doing great. Hey Shirley, how you doing? Thank you so much for coming on. Well, look, ladies, I am Adelaide Brown with Be Blessed Daily, and I'm so happy to be on here today. And for those of you who do not know me, those of you who may listen in on the replay, I inspire and empower women and girls to break through the glass ceilings in their lives and soar in their unlimited greatness. And I'm so excited to be on today because I just thank you so much for inviting your followers. I thank you guys so much. I just wanted to get on and encourage you. I wanted to read day 142 of Anchored because today is day 142 of the year. And I just really want you guys to be encouraged wherever you are right now in your day, wherever you are right now in your life. I just want you to know that you are right where God wants you to be. You may not be happy with the place that you're in right now, but you're in that place for a reason. So I just want to encourage you to not beat yourself up so much for the location, but ask God to help you when it comes to the direction that you should be going in and the attitude you should have going in that direction. What I've realized lately, this has been going on, but I recently come to realize this is that, a lot of times we beat ourselves up when we feel like, I'm battling with this. Wow, Melody. Wow. Okay. Well, I knew it was God. I knew it was God as usual. And the fact that you said that there's something that you're battling with. What I have realized is a lot of times we judge ourselves instead of, I'm trying to decide my next move. Okay. Remember that no decision you make is a wrong decision. Okay. One of your decisions will be, of course, the will of God for your life. Any decision you make is going to be along the lines of the will of God for your life. You're going to have to go through whatever the consequence is to that. And it could be a good consequence or bad consequence, but it's always going to be some repercussion that comes from it. And it's always a lesson to be learned. So I really want to encourage you, Melody, and anyone else who may be in that space. You may not like where you are right now. You may not like what's going on in your life right now. But let me tell you one thing. You have experience. In this situation, you can really take a step back and look at your life from a different vantage point. And I know when I say that, some people are like, well, how do you mean? I mean, yes, this is your situation. But if this was your girlfriend, or if this was your sister, or if this was your mother, and she was in the same situation, what type of advice would you give to her? What would you say to her? What I realized was that the advice that I would give to others was very different from how, was very different from how that I would treat myself, right? So what I had to do was I started talking to God, and I'm like, look, I really need you to show me what you want. Yes, I really need you. I feel you, Vanessa. I really need you to show me what you want from me. Like, I really need you to show me what you need to do. What has been happening now is a lot of the people that I had put on a certain level, on a certain pedestal, I kind of modeled myself, or these are people that I would look to for guidance or whatever the case may be. What God has been doing in the last few years or so, like He has been teaching me how to be secure in Him. Like He has been teaching me how to trust Him and trust the process that He puts me in, even when it doesn't make sense to everyone else, even if it doesn't make sense to me. And why am I saying that? I judge myself really harshly because of, okay, so you're feeling what I'm saying. Okay, good, Melody. Thanks for letting me know that. And if anybody else, I really thank you guys for letting me know, because sometimes you feel like you're the only one going through that. Especially when you look around at life and it seems like everyone else has their stuff together. You know, they're just enjoying their life. They're taking vacations. They just know that they're living on purpose. And it's like, I'm over here. I can't get nothing together. I can't figure nothing out. What is wrong with me? There is nothing wrong with you. But what God is trying to do is tell you that He wants more of your time. He wants more of your attention. The biggest thing is not so much about teeter-tottering, deciphering between the decision that you should make. The bigger thing is, what is going to put me in the will of God? And see, for me, I was looking at my situation and I was measuring my situation by the world standards. I was measuring what I was going through by what the research says and by what all of the experts said. But what God said, I'm the expert. I'm the master expert. You're reading, articles and you're looking at statistics. But what did I say about that? Did you consult me? Did you come and talk to me about that? Did you pray about that? Did you meditate on that? Did you fast or anything? Like, what did you do to gain a clearer understanding of what God wanted you to do? See, I encourage you, Melody, and everyone else. A lot of times we compartmentalize our lives. Like, we have our faith, and then we have our personal life, and then we have our professional life, and then we have our hobbies, and then everyone has these little things that they like to put in the closet, things that they do, things that they're into, that they, for lack of better words, they just know it's no good for them. No, that's not something they should be doing, but that's just something that they are caught up in at that time. What God told me was, you're going to keep going around in circles as long as you think that your life has compartments. You are one whole and your life is one whole. Yes, there may be different parts that you have your professional life and you have your personal life. But guess who's the same in all of those things? You are. And the baggage that you carry is in every single one of those compartments. Like, you cannot separate that. And I had to realize that. So what am I saying? I was trying to deal with the symptoms and not really getting to the source. So I really encourage you, if you're in a space of limbo, if you're in a space of, God, I don't know what you want me to do next, but I know something got to change. If you are in a space like that in any way, shape, or form, it is God trying to get your attention. God is calling you. I'm sorry, guys. My cats are just, they're wanting to hug on me and be all over me. And I don't feel like that right now. The mosquitoes are biting me. But it feels so good outside. So, hey, it's Charleston. I'm used to it. I've been here forever. So I need to be used to this. But God wants more of your attention. God wants more inclusion in every area of your life. There were things in my life that I was ashamed to pray about. You and that cat. Melody, I know. A lot of people are like, Cat, I am never coming to your house. Well, we have a relationship. We support them, they support us. They keep our house free of rodents and snakes and things like that. And, we feed them, and it really works out really well. I've really enjoyed this relationship. So, it's funny. You can't hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can y'all put a 1 in the box if you can hear me? Because Melody is saying, okay, so you can hear me. I don't know what's going on, Melody. So Vanessa, you can hear me. Okay. All right. But what God is wanting from us, yeah, and come back in. Close out and come back in, Melody. What God is wanting from us, guys, is He doesn't want us to feel like I have a personal life, and then I have a professional life, and then I have a spiritual life, and then I have the secret life that I live. What God is telling us is that He is present in all of those places, and so are we. And even though in one area of your life, when you go to work, you may, put a certain voice on or act a certain way. And when you, in your personal life, you may act a certain way. And when you're in your professional life, you may act a certain way. What God is saying is He is the same all the time. Okay, good. You can hear me. Awesome. He is the same all the time. And He wants to get our attention. And sometimes He will allow turmoil in our lives so that He can get our attention. Because a lot of times when things are in good standing, we're in autopilot. Like, we're not really thinking. We're just going through the motions. And God wants us to think. The Bible tells us, as a man thinketh, so is he. Think about that. You are as you think. So no matter what your potential is, no matter what your status is, no matter what your degree is, no matter what your relationship status is, what you think about yourself is ultimately what you will be, not what it is. If that makes any sense. Okay? So people always complimented me and told me, they admired this and that about me. I didn't feel that way about myself. So my thoughts of myself brought me down. My thoughts of myself called my life, yes, watch your thoughts. Your thoughts are a direct representation of your reality. And a lot of us don't like to accept that, because when we look around in our lives, there are things going on that we can very clearly justify and blame other people. But I'm just here to let you know today that that thing was attracted into your life because of your thoughts. That thing was attracted into your life because of what you're thinking about it, because of the emotion that you attached to that particular situation. Be careful and where you're attaching your emotion. A lot of times when we think of things like, oh my goodness, that light bill is due. Oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine if that was to ever happen to my children. We get really worked up on the woulda, shoulda, couldas. And we get so focused on those things that they actually happen. And then we're like, oh God, I can't believe that happened. Well, you've been thinking about it and expecting it for 5 years, and now that it happened, you're surprised? Like, you're really going to blame? Like, I'm going to use this example, and I know some ladies get upset with me, but I'm going to just go ahead and put it out there because this is how I feel. This is my heart scope, and I'm speaking from the heart. So you have a good man, but you've been in a negative relationship before. So now you're with this particular guy, and you are just afraid that he's going to cheat on you because of your past experiences. Now, he's not really giving you any other reason to feel like that, except for he's a man, and every other man that you've dealt with, they've done this. But it's not like he's not like disappearing on you. He's answering the phone when you call, always wanting to spend time with you, not trying to, keep you a secret or anything like that. He's communicating with you. But because you've been so hurt, you're like, I'm waiting for it. He's too good to be true. I know he's going to do something soon. I know he's going to mess up soon. And then it happens. He messes up. He does what you were expecting. And then you're mad at him. Everything was going good, but you like, look, I never been in a relationship where for 6 months we didn't have any drama. So I know some drama has to be coming sooner or later. It doesn't have to be. But if that's what you're thinking, if that's the magnet that you have on, guess what you're going to attract into your life? So what I'm saying to you is, get anchored in the process. Trust the process of your life. Trust the process of God trying to change your thoughts. Are you going to let God change your thoughts? That man didn't want to do those things to you. But you attracted that into your own life. So because you were attracting that, because you felt like that's what you're worthy of being disrespected, or you're worthy of being cheated on because that's what everybody else always did, but so that's what's still going on. Hey, you don't get any brownie points for thinking like that. That's not doing you any good. My son just did that earlier today. We were at our family conference. Today was the family day. We had the picnic last night. I was telling you guys about the youth explosion. We had like over 15 kids give their life to Christ last night. Like, it was awesome. And then today we were at the picnic, and my son, we were doing the drawings, and he was like, man, I don't ever win anything. Shoot. And he kind of walked off. And the drawing was actually still going on. Like, there was still 2 giveaways to go on. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? You're not going to win because you have that attitude. And because you have that attitude, you're not going to win. And don't be mad at anybody, and don't say that it's God's fault. You're expecting to fail. So when failure comes, don't be surprised. I said, don't do that to yourself. You're cutting yourself out. And I did that for years. Every time I played bingo, every time I even got a scratch off or anything like that, I'm always thinking, I'm not going to win this because I don't ever win anything. And then I'm surprised when I'm not the one saying bingo, or I'm not the one, hitting the lottery jackpot, or whatever the case may be. I drew that into my life. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I started trying my thoughts. Like, I started testing this to see if this would work. And I tell you no lie. I had 2 drawings that I entered. Like where you get a ticket, you put your ticket in, and just like what we did at our church, and you put your ticket in, and someone picks it, and whatever's picked, that's the winner. 2 times I did that. 2 times as I was entering, I said, "Oh, don't worry about it, because I'm going to win that. You're going to be calling me back telling me it's mine." Both times, guys, I won the drawing. And I was excited, and I was surprised at first. And then God said, "Why are you surprised? You expected it." Yes, parking spaces. Okay, that is so cool, Vanessa. So we do it with parking spaces, and we do it with little drawings and things like that. Why can't we do it when it comes to our finances, guys? Why can't we do it when it comes to our relationships, guys? Why can't we do that when we're pursuing our dreams and pursuing our goals? Like, why can't we think ourselves happy? Like Paul said in Acts chapter 26. Why can't we think ourselves successful? I keep asking myself about my finances. What are you asking? Like, are you asking empowering questions? Like, are you saying what needs to happen for me to be able to live the life that I want to live? Or are you saying, man, why am I so, the B word, BROKE? Think about it. It's a difference, right? Lord, what needs to happen for me to live the life that you created me to live? What needs to happen for me to have a successful relationship? But I think I don't stay there. You don't. That's just the truth of the matter. You don't. Like they said, it takes 20 compliments to override 1 criticism to manifest it, right? So it's a habit that we have to get into. Like, we literally have to train our minds. Just like when we decide we want to get in shape, and you got to go to the gym, and you have to train, and you have to work your muscles, and you have to get that in shape. It's the same way with our brain and with our thoughts. We have to train our minds. We have been trained to expect the worst. We have been trained to expect for things not to work out for us. Many of us have. I mean, when you look at TV, when you're listening to the radio, it's a lot of sarcasm. It's a lot of pessimism. You have a lot of people saying things like, "I'm a realist. Forget all of that fluffy stuff. I'm a realist. I'm going to just call it what it is." And at first, I used to be intimidated by that, because I was like, wow, they're being real. Maybe I'm being fake. But now that I've grown spiritually, I realize that they're being as real as they can be in that situation, because that's all that they know. And what I know is the love of God is unlimited. The love of Christ, when you die for people who don't deserve it, oh, it's unlimited. And see, like I have been saying, and I've been asking God this question. I'm like, Lord, what is it? It has to be more. Like, my grandmother served you her whole life. And I looked at some of the things that she went through, and I was like, look, it has to be more than that. It's no way I'm going through all of this on earth right now, waiting for a mansion in heaven. Yes, I want my mansion in heaven, but like David said in the 27th Psalm, I would have fainted unless I had seen the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. See, God wants us to live in abundance right now, but we have to get our thoughts in line, right? We have to. So I want you to think about that today. I'm challenging you guys to think of empowering questions. When the thoughts come to your mind, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay this bill? Oh my gosh, I cannot take this. I cannot deal with these people anymore. But you know that these are people you have to deal with. I'm asking you, instead of saying what you can't do, ask God what needs to happen. What needs to happen for my finances? Keep scoping. These are so good. Oh, thank you so much, Melody. And thank you so much for sharing it with your followers. Don't even stop scoping. You know what, Melody? I committed to scoping twice a day. And I love scoping. And it's like I get this sort of anxiety before I start scoping. It's like I'm worried about, I got to be in the right environment. I got to worry about how my hair looks. But see, the day I was kicking back and I had some things that I had to do, and I was like, you know what? I haven't scoped today. I have to get on. And I thank you so much for telling me that you enjoy it, because I enjoy sharing with you guys. Like, I'm an open book, and you know that. If you listen to my scopes, you know I will drop some bombs on you about me. But the reason why I'm saying this is because I've been experiencing these things. But what God is telling me is we're going to have to work through this because of where I'm taking you. You have to get rid of all of those old thoughts. I'm telling y'all now, and I told y'all before, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I watched her as she went up. And it's not so much about me getting accolades from people. It's about, I want to reach as many people as I can because I want to positively affect them. Like when I was speaking to the young people last night, I listened to the adults get up and talk. And the stuff is so watered down. These children are dealing with heavy stuff. They don't need you throwing scriptures at them. They need you to explain to them, why in the hell did you go to Jesus? Why did you? Tell him about how crazy your life is. Tell him about how ratchet your life was. Tell him about all that stuff you was doing that didn't make any sense. And because Jesus saved you, now you are on a trajectory where you're like, look, something got to give. This something got to give. I want others to feel better. That's true, because that's how we grew up, with things hidden. Yes. And then when people touched us inappropriately, we're supposed to hide that, right? And we're watching abuse and neglect going all around us. We're supposed to hide that, right? I'm trying to just keep it real with my kids. Listen, you don't have to try to keep it real, Vanessa. Just keep it real. You don't have to try, just do. And if you're doing that, you're doing it. You're not trying. You're not perfect. But at least you're willing to put yourself out there. Like I told my mom, I was like, look, I have to share my testimony so that I can heal. And if you're not willing to share your testimony, I apologize for you for that. But look, I got to move forward with my story. And you may be involved in my story, but I'm not trying to offend you or put you out there. But I can no longer hurt myself so that other people can stay comfortable. I refuse to do that anymore. If that means that I don't have any friends, let me tell you something. The Bible says to be a friend, you must show yourself friendly. If the people in my life go away from me, guess what? I didn't need them in my life anyway. It's all about restoration, guys. It's all about healing. That's why when you look at yourself in the situation you're in, you don't need to judge yourself. You need to observe. Take notes. Do a case study on your own life. Pay attention to the triggers that are taking place. Pay attention to the negativity that's going on around you. Okay? Think about the different environments that you found yourself in. What were some of the commonalities? What were some of the similarities in those environments? Okay? And when you notice the pattern, now you go to God and say, now tell me about this. Every time I start hanging with some females, this little situation happened. Every time I start dating somebody, this situation happened. Every time it seems like my finances are getting together, this situation happens. You know what I found, guys? We have so many things buried down that we stuffed up under the rug, that the stuff is so thick and it's just so stuck tight together that it takes time to unfold and to unravel. And a lot of people don't want to take time doing that. And that's what I love so much about this 12-week program that I put together for Be Blessed Daily, and for my coaching program, the Get Anchored in Your Greatness, because it's 12 weeks, but we're working through 6 steps. And the reason why it's like that is because I want it to be thorough. Like, I don't want you, like a lot of people just want to get you feeling good and they just want to take your money. No, I want you to finish this program with a new lease on life. Like, I want you to look out and say, oh my goodness, I can do this. I'm not saying it's going to be rosy and peachy and everything is going to be nice, but what I can tell you is we'll get to the bottom of some of the reasons why you keep having these cycles happening in your life. Because I had to be real with myself, and I'll be honest with you, the more real I've been with myself, the more God can continue to pour that authenticity in me. Because remember now, we are spirits having a human experience. We are not humans who occasionally have a spiritual experience. No, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So what does that mean for us? That means we cannot get caught up in what we see going on around us. We know that the spiritual world is activating the reality that we see. So that's why we have to work on our thoughts. That's why we don't judge ourselves when we find ourselves in situations that we know we shouldn't be in, or I feel like I'm better than that, or I feel like I shouldn't have been doing that. No, what we do is we go back to God. What needs to happen here? What do I need to hear from you? Calm me down. Calm my spirit down, Lord. I need direction. And until you give me direction, I'm not going to do anything. And Melody, that's a hard thing. If you're still on, that's a hard thing. Saying, I don't exactly know which direction to go, but I want to hear from you. And until I hear from you, I'm not going to move. Another thing I found is people say that, but God already told them what they needed to do. But because it's not something they want to do. Oh, you eating? Okay, good. This is the thing. People will say they want to hear from God before they move, right? People want to hear from God to get clarity in their situations. But what they won't tell us is that God has given them direction. A lot of times it's just not what they want to do. It's just not what they want to do. Because I was asking God, I was like, look, I know what me and you have going on. And I'm looking around me and it's like I'm starting to really see through the BS. And I'm like, am I judging? He's like, no, but I'm opening your eyes because you asked me to. You asked me to. Now, you don't judge them. We want to do things our way. Yes. You don't. Yes, Vanessa. That's what we want to do things our way. It's like a parent. See, I didn't have a good relationship with my father. So when I started welcoming God into my life on my own, like not through my grandmother, because I really saw God through her and she was an idol in my life. So when I had to start building my relationship on my own, I realized there was a big block between me really getting connected with God, because the idea of a father wasn't really a good idea to me because my father wasn't there. So if God is a father and I have these negative feelings towards a father, the place, the statue of a father, then there's a disconnect in my spirituality because I have a jaded, a distorted perspective of what a father is. So when God is telling me that he will never leave me nor forsake me, when he's telling me that he will lead and guide me in the right direction, I'm thinking like fathers, but my father who didn't do that. So it was hard for me to really trust God because I was comparing God to the reality around me, right? But then when God told me, look, you're a spirit, and God is a spirit, and those that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. That's when I realized, oh my goodness, I'm limiting my connection with you because of the hate and the anger and the frustration that I have against my father. And because of that, I think negatively towards fathers taking care of their children. And then I grew and had a child and started going through that with her father and him not taking care of her. See, the cycle was repeating itself. But I'll be honest, guys, I was thinking that. So when I was thinking like, oh gosh, I didn't grow up with my daddy. I hope and pray my child don't grow up like that. I hope she don't grow up like that. And her father abandoned her. But that's what I was expecting. Like in my mind, I was like, oh, I don't want him to abandon her. And he did. If I had focused more on, I'm so thankful that he's being responsible. Who knows what could have happened? But see, God loved me so much that he brought my husband into my life. And my daughter has had a consistent father in her life. So that's the beauty of it all. Hey, SC Lady 31, thanks so much for coming in. But see, does that erase, the other stuff going on and the fact that, he's not there? No. But what it is my baby does have a father. And some of the situations that I experienced in my life, she will never experience because she does have someone there. And what I also had to realize is God answered my prayer. He just didn't answer my prayer the way I thought it was going to be answered. So I prayed and asked God for my child to have a good father figure in her life and things like that. And I was hoping it was going to be, how did you get healed to attract your husband? I keep attracting the same men. Okay. To be honest with you, Melody, when I attracted my husband, I was not completely healed, but I have bought into the idea that God dropped in my spirit. I had a dream. I had two dreams, actually. One of them was really vivid. And God showed me this man, and I'm telling you, I had just come out of a very, very, very abusive, toxic, difficult relationship, right? Hey, Adelaide, Stephanie Holston, Sean, finally me. Oh, hey, Stephanie, how you doing? Oh, I'm so glad you got on. I hope you enjoy the scope, and if you are, don't forget to share it with your followers. I'm so glad you're in Puerto Rico, right? How you doing in paradise? I need to come where you are, Stephanie. But yes, how did I attract him? I had a dream, and that's when I was just really, really building my own personal relationship with Christ. Like, I knew God, and I knew God, through my grandmother, like I said, but I started believing God, and I was so broken from my past relationship that I kind of got in a very isolated space. I stopped hanging with the crowd I was around. I was just working, and I got back in school, and I was just with my daughter. And so I wanted a good husband. Like, I really did. Like, I wanted a good man to come into my life with me and my daughter. But I'll be honest with y'all guys, I wanted it, but I didn't really feel like I was worthy of it. And so when I had this dream, thank you so much, Stephanie. When I had this dream, God showed me this dream, guys. Like, it was like being in a fairy tale. Like, this guy was just so awesome and he was just so amazing, and we were going out together, and it was like I had been accustomed to dealing with how we say here, dope boys, guys who live a street lifestyle, guys who usually made their living selling drugs or the like or things like that. And this particular guy that was in my dream, like, he just was different. Like, so when you deal with guys in that lifestyle, a lot of times you're having to, wait for your time, because they always have to make money and they always got to do this and always got to do that. But usually it's just, they're dealing with other women and they got other things going on. So it's always all of these other excuses why they can't be there. So in the dream, this guy and we were spending time together. We were traveling. We were just having a good time with Karis. I never saw his face. I never saw his face in the dream. But when I came out of the dream, and this is the truth, guys, I didn't understand anything about the law of attraction. I didn't understand about as a man thinketh, so is he. I didn't understand the power of my thoughts. But that dream was so exciting, that I stayed in that emotional space, Melody. I really did. I would daydream about the dream, and it made me feel good. I started telling my friends, I was like, look, a good man is about to come into my life, and I'm not hanging out with y'all like that no more, because my man gonna want to be home, and I'm gonna be home with him. Because see, we had been accustomed to guys that were in the street, so we had to go and chase behind them. So I was making these declarations. I was professing, look, I got me a good man. I got some great things that's about to happen in my life. Look, I didn't know who this fool was. Not fool, Lord forgive me. I didn't know who this guy was. I didn't know how he looked. I didn't know where he was coming from. But I just knew that God had given me that dream, and that thing got anchored inside of me. It really did. Don't laugh at me, Stephanie. See, I'm still working on the power of my thoughts. So that's why I would say fool when I'm talking about my dream guy, right? Hey, I'm just being real with y'all. You know how I am. So I'm working through that. So I started listening to Mary J. Blige had an album come out. This was back in 2004. Yep. That's, you know how that is. That's the Geechee girl. You know how that is, Stephanie. Charleston coming out. Mary J. Blige had a song on the Brown Sugar soundtrack called I Never Been. And it was like, I never been touched like this. I'm not a singer, but I really love that song. I never been. And so the funny thing is, I was not listening to that song. I had the dream, and then somebody left the Mary J. Blige CD at my house, and I just happened to listen to it. Now, this song is not on the original CD. It was on the bonus CD because it was actually from the soundtrack of the movie Brown Sugar. So when they left it at my house, I thought that was on the regular CD. And the reason why I said that is because later I found out that the CD I had was more like a special edition, because other CDs that looked just like it didn't have the song because I was looking for it. So every time I listened to the song, I got into this imaginative space of, I never been touched like this. I never been. And it was like the song, there you go, another sign. So the song was a further connection to this man who I was drawing into my life. And I didn't know. But it felt good every time I would listen to the song. And you know when you were little and you imagine and you dream things. So every time I listened to the song, I would just get happy. Like, you know how you feel when you're with somebody and they're treating you good, and it's like, oh my gosh, like you just feel like a queen. And that's what Mary was saying. I mean, y'all go on YouTube and look it up. It was kind of hard for me to find it, but once I found it, I really found it. It's called I Never Been, and it's by Mary J. Blige. And so I was in that space, Melody, and I got in a car accident, right? A really bad car accident. And this was about 6-7 weeks after I had the dream. Got in a car accident, so my back was hurting me really bad. After I got in a car accident, my uncle got murdered. May 17, 2004. My Uncle Sterling got murdered. And, was murdered. And, so it took a toll on me. And I'm telling y'all that because I know all of these things kind of go together. So, got in a bad car accident. I was 20 years old. No, I was 21 years old. And my back, I was like really afraid because my back was bothering me from the accident. And that's when I finally realized, I was like, if my back stays like this for the rest of my life, like that was scary. The reason why I'm telling y'all this is because I believe that the accident, my uncle's murder,
all of those things was that negativity manifesting in my life. But I stayed in that space. Like, I kept listening to the Mary J. Blige song, and I kept holding on to that dream. And I remember I went and talked to this older lady, and I was telling her, I was like, you know, if I'm not going to deal with anybody that's going to take me through drama. If that's the case, I'll just be single until my daughter graduated from high school. And at the time, she was 3. Like, she hadn't even started school yet. Excuse me. And I was like, I'll just stay single. I'm not putting up with that. And she was like, no, you don't need to be like that. You really need to open up your heart. It was like, God, I'm telling you, all of this was happening in the course of those 7-8 weeks. So fast forward, I got in an accident. My uncle got killed. And then I was laying on the couch one day, Memorial Day weekend, and I was just so down and I was so depressed. And my friend, her sister called and was like, what you doing? I'm at this cookout and KB is asking about you. And I'm like, KB? Who is KB? And she was like, Kevin. I said, Kevin? What is he asking about me for? And she was like, well, he wanted to know where you were. He wanted to know if you were coming to the cookout. And I said, well, I'm not driving. You know, I was in a car accident. And why is he worried about me anyway? She was like, well, you know, he keeps telling me that he likes you. And I'm like, oh, gosh, I'm not following Kevin up. Now, to give you the backdrop to that, Kevin and I, my husband now, Kevin and I have been friends since we were in 7th grade. So we were always friends. Like, he and our other friend, they were really tight. And I was really close with all of them. Like, I was the chick that would be the only girl in the group of guys and hanging out with them. And I knew about all the girls they used to mess with. They were jocks. They played football. He was a wrestler. He was a state champion wrestler. So, you know, they were popular and they were all over the place. So Kevin and I were friends all through high school, all through middle school. So when he was asking if I was coming to the cookout and all of this other stuff, I'm like, why? Like, why is he acting like that? He know we friends. I'm not following him up. She was like, girl, he likes you. And I was like, whatever. Well, how about this? I'll come. Y'all come and pick me up because, you know, I was in a car accident. And I was like, I'll come. Y'all come and pick me up. So I got to the cookout. And he was there, and he was acting all shy, like how he's look, y'all. He just walked past. He looked out talking about you. Yes, come tell him hi. Come here. Look. Yes, Melody. He was done playing around with being my friend. Come here.
Hey, everyone, and I'm shy.
He isn't shy. Do you see? They say, hey. Look, he wasn't shy, but if y'all see how fast he got out of this camera frame, right? But he wasn't shy. So he was there, and when I got, that's how he knew I was talking about him, because I said I got to the cookout. See, he knew what I was talking about. So when I got there, I was like, what's up with all of this? You asking about me and all of this? Now, in my mind, I wasn't thinking so much about the dream, but I knew that Kevin was a good guy. Like, that I knew. Like, because we were friends. I wasn't going to be his friend if he wasn't a good guy. But when I got there, y'all, I hadn't seen him in a while, right? And he had put on a few pounds, and he was just looking different from the last time that I saw him. And I was like, let me find out that Kevin over here looking kind of sexy. What is going on here? And so he was like, well, what's up with you? Well, what you doing later on? Well, let's go out and all this other stuff. So I'm like, you know, this my friend, and this what we doing or whatever, because I just got a kick out of it, because I'm like, we've been friends all these years, and you call yourself liking me now. Now, I'm not really processing the dream, right? I'm not really processing the fact that I've been in this space, that I've been waiting on this mystery man for the past 2 months now, and he never had a face. Like, he never had a face. I had 2 dreams, remember? One was very vivid, the other one wasn't, but it was the same feeling. But when I got with him, y'all, the feeling that I had in the dream, the feeling that I would have when I was listening to the song, that is the feeling that I had when I was with him. Like, every single time I was with him. And so we saw each other at that cookout, and I tell y'all no lie, I had a similar dream a few months ago. Okay? All right, Melody. Well, you better hold on to that dream. Don't be the pet. Don't say you the realist, and because you're real, yeah, I had that dream, but these are the type of men I keep drawing. No, stay in that space, Melody. Trust me. Stay in that space. So we went out that particular evening, and then we didn't talk to each other for like a week. So then the first week in June, it was crazy. It was like we didn't talk. I don't know what it was, and I'll be honest, I know what it was now. It was like I had such a good time with him. I think I started to self-sabotage mentally. Like, gosh, I had a lot of fun with him, but I can't date him because that's my friend, or I can't date him because of whatever reason or whatever. So a week went by, and then he called me and I called him, but we just never got connected. So a week went by, and he was like, well, could you mind if I come over and hang out with you or whatever? So I was like, that's fine. Y'all, I tell you no lie. When Kevin came to hang out with me that first night, we have been together ever since then. I'm talking Kevin never like stopped coming. Like when we had that week in between from our first date. When he came and visited me again, when he came to visit me at my house for the first time, he never left. Like he never, ever, ever left. Like he would come, and my daughter was gone for the summer, so like it was just me in the house. I mean, we would just sit up all night, play cards, watch TV, go to the movies. Like every time I was turning around, like he wanted to take me out to eat. He wanted to do those things. My son said, she got that. Melody, you're so crazy. And the funny thing was, okay, it's just us girls here, so I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. No, in Jamaica we call that puppy love. Yes, let me tell you what was so funny. When I started dating him, like I had sworn myself to some form of celibacy, right? I was like, I had not been with anyone. Like I broke up with my daughter's father. Oh, I love a good love story, butterflies. Yes, don't it feel good? Y'all listen. I'm glad, Melody, that you asked that question, because I needed to tell the story again. Like, because I'm feeling this way all over again, right? Like, thank you. It's something. And I know because of that, I will attract more of that into my life. But it's funny that you say she got that holler back, because, listen, I'm not one of those girls, and I know people say this all the time. But the first night that we hung out, guys, I was like, oh, my goodness, I got to get him out of my house, because, like, I really want to give him some. And I cannot do this on the first night. Like, remind you, like, I went back to how I was feeling in those dreams. And I had broken up with my boyfriend almost a year earlier. So, like, I hadn't allowed any guys into my personal space, because I was like, I don't want anybody in my space. Y'all don't judge me now. I'm just being honest. Just being honest. I hadn't allowed anybody in my personal space. But when he got there, it was like, I knew... Girl, we grown. Exactly. And this is Heartscope. And y'all know I keep it real on Heartscope. So, and let me make y'all laugh. So, me and him been friends since we were younger, right? And I didn't have like a bad name of being out there. So, I was like, I cannot be this boyfriend for like 10 years. Because at the time, we had been friends for like 10 years. I can't be his friend for 10 years. And the first night we decide we hanging together as a little more than friends, I'm going to go and give him some. Or he really going to be looking at me like, oh my gosh. But my emotions, you know how it is. Like you were talking about that puppy love. Like everything was just all over the place or whatever. So I didn't. And it was so funny because later I teased him and I was like, you know, that first night I really wanted to give you some, but I didn't want you to judge me. Here he go. Oh, I wasn't going to judge you. I promise I wasn't going to judge you. I'm like, yeah, right. You tell me anything to get some. But he didn't. It was no pressure or anything, y'all. It was all on me. And I wasn't that. What is DWL, Vanessa? I don't know what that means. Y'all have to keep me up on the internet lingo, because I'm a little behind track sometimes. But and the reason why I'm dying. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. So and I'm telling y'all that he wouldn't have judged you because he already wanted you. Well, and you know what, Melody? That may be the case, and you're very right about that. But I'm so glad that I didn't. But if I did, I wouldn't be ashamed to tell y'all that, because like we're still together, and I really don't think that would have changed anything with us. But let me tell y'all what was so beautiful about it. Like, this was the first guy. It was like, you know, I am not, you know, advocating for people to have sex and not be married, but I did that. I got pregnant with all of my children and all of that. But what I knew was special about this guy, I told him before we started having sex, like I wanted us to get tested. Like he had been in a relationship with someone that was, cheating on him a lot. I had been in a relationship with somebody that was cheating on me a lot. And I was like, I want us to get HIV tested, before we, take that next step. And guys, he was like, okay, that's fine. We can do that. When he said that, I was sold. I was sold. Because I stood on what I wanted, even though deep down inside I was like, this could be a game changer. Like, this is something that could push him away. And it actually brought us closer together because we got those tests and everybody, both of us came back clean. And it was like, we did that together. It was almost like solidifying this relationship or whatever. Now, let's fast forward about a year into it. I was in the state of, this is not real. Like, I've been with this guy, even when I get angry with him, like, there's no need to argue. Like, and Melody, this is still on what you were asking. And because I had such limiting beliefs of myself, because of the toxic relationships that I had been in, I was expecting Kevin and I to go wrong in some way, shape, or form. Because it had to, right? Because that's what I was accustomed to. Because that's the reality that I knew. But deep down in my heart, I was like, I don't want that to happen. But in my mind, I'm thinking, oh gosh, this could possibly happen. This is just too good to be true. And, all of this other stuff. And we started experiencing things in our relationship. I've never had to deal with women. I've never had to worry about, where's my man? Where is he? What is he doing? I've never had to worry about those things. In every relationship I was in prior to that, that was pretty much the biggest issue. I never had to worry about, if he's tiptoeing in my daughter's room. I never had to worry about those things. But we still find out, yes, I know I'm blessed. And I received that, just the other day. I was just riding in my car and God dropped that thing in my spirit so heavy. He was like, you got a good husband. And you need to realize that. Like, you really need to realize that. Like, you can focus on the things that he may not be doing right. But you need to focus on the things that he is doing right. And then he brought all of those things to my memory. And when I look back on the past, when we went through our turmoil, like, in that dream, I was like, I'm going to date this person no longer than 5 years. I'm talking about the dream I had before he came into my life. And when, yes, ma'am, because my homegirl's men ain't worth nothing. All right, well, Melody, I'm going to just have to be real with you. If their men aren't worth anything, I'm going to need you to start surrounding yourself with some people who are happy with their men. And you'll be surprised at how quick you're going to get a man that you're happy with. See, we don't like to deal with these things, but the truth is the truth, right? I'm serious. And guess what, Melody? That's what happened with me. When I started chilling with Kevin, I did not, that first month, like I've told y'all, that after that week separation, he started coming to my house. So he would do things for me. And like my girlfriends would say things like, oh, y'all over here doing this and you didn't call me over. Oh, well, he taking you this place and, well, you could have said something, or you not coming out with us again because you with him. I'm like, yeah. I said, look here, girl, I can't sleep with you. The truth of the matter is a lot of y'all playing around with that right now, and I'm not into that. I cannot sleep with you. You do not give me the type of relationship that he gives me. But see, back then, he wasn't my husband. See, he wasn't my husband back then. He wasn't even officially my boyfriend at the time. But we were inseparable, right? We didn't separate from each other. And this is still tying into what we were talking about earlier, guys. When you look at your situation and you evaluate your situation and you're like, look, this is the situation that's going on. This is where I am. What do I need to do moving forward? So, Melody, you just got your answer. Like, you really just got your answer. Your man is waiting for you, but he's waiting for you in a different environment. He's waiting for you in a different atmosphere. You know, some of us are in relationships right now that seem stagnant. I was there a couple months ago. I was. And you know what God told me? You can point out all of the wrong that Kevin is doing, but at the end of the day, you and I both know the truth. And the truth of the matter is, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not giving this relationship your all. You're holding back because you're trying to protect yourself. If you want your marriage to work, you can't hold back in your marriage. Y'all are one. But you are a whole, and he is a whole, and y'all come together to make a whole. So if you're only willing to give him 3/4 of you, how can you expect him to give you 100% of himself? And see, I didn't want to give all of me because I was hurt before. And after all of that time, and all of us being together, and of course, we've been together for 12 years. This will not be a long enough scope to go through all of that, but I will talk about these things because if this is stuff, if you guys want to hear more about this, I'll share it because like I told my husband, I said, we didn't go through the things we went through in life for us to keep it a secret. If you want to keep it a secret, we got to pray because I need to be delivered. And I deliver by sharing my testimony. Other people want to keep secrets. I don't have time for that. Revelation 12:11, you can go read it for yourself. They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the words of their testimonies. When you got to run from your testimony, you're running from yourself. You're running from the truth about something. And we don't have time for that. Not on Heart Scopes. Not with Be Blessed Daily. No, ma'am. We don't have time for that. And that's why, you know, I'm glad you brought that up, Melody, because that's what I've been doing in my business lately. That's what I have been doing in my faith. That's what I have been doing in my relationships with those around me. I am starting to get a different perspective of people, the same people. They're not changing, but I'm changing. And that's what I want you guys, I want to encourage you. Take back control of your life by taking control of your thoughts. Many of the things, honestly, I distance myself from women in good relations because I feel, okay, well, guess what? That's a very, very honest comment. And I want to applaud you. Y'all need to applaud her for that because guess what, Melody? A lot of us feel that way. But you're jealous of them, but that's on the surface. See, if you go a little deeper, you want to be connected with them, but then there's still that fear. There's still that fear of, you know, what comes next. See, when you get around those people, you have to be vulnerable. You have to ask certain questions. And when you ask those questions, they may be able to figure you out. They may be able to figure out a little more than you're willing to reveal to them. But what I'm telling you, Melody, is the fact that you feel this way, God has already set aside a group of women that can help and support you with that, right? That He already has. But He's also putting you around people who will help you as you grow internally for yourself because it's your time. It is your time. I'm telling you, Melody, it's your time. Stephanie, it's your time. Vanessa, it's your time. Why do I know? Because you're on the scope. It's time for us to truly enjoy our lives. And even if you're really enjoying your life, it's time to take it up a notch. God wants you to enjoy your life even more. He wants to enjoy our lives to a higher degree. Okay? And now is the time. And Melody, you're in a good space because a lot of women are jealous. And guess what? You're welcome, Stephanie. And you know what, Melody? They won't admit that. So they'll go into those places with that jealousy and wreak havoc on those people's lives and theirs because they don't want to be honest with how they feel. They won't even admit of the jealous feeling. But under that jealous feeling, Melody, it's another feeling. Okay? Do you feel worthy of being in a good relationship? Like, do you honestly feel worthy of it? Like, we say that on the surface now, but I'm talking about being real. So, like, one of the things that I do when I work with my clients, I encourage journaling. And if you're not journaling already, I really want you to start today. If you don't have a journal in your house, pull a notebook or something, a napkin, something that you can write on, and then you can compile those things together. But I am asking you to emotionally and spiritually dump on paper. Dump how you feel about your relationships. Like, dump how you feel about the people you're around. See, if you could be around the ladies that have, you know, bummy relationships, and you're not, and you know that's not what you want. So God is calling for you. And it's funny because this is how we started off the scope, right? Because this is all in line with that. God is telling you that where you are right now is not where He wants you to be. But see, you have a limited view of how you're seeing yourself, and that's why it's hard to be around those people. But the thing about it is you're supposed to be around them because that is actually the life that God has called for you to live. What's wrong with him? Okay. That is the life that God has called for you to live. So what does that mean? That means that you're going into a season now, Melody, of what do they like to say in business? You're up-leveling, but you're up-leveling spiritually and emotionally. That's what you're doing. Like, it's time to go up. The husband that you're waiting on is being prepared for you, and you're being prepared for him. Those of us that may be married in the situation, the relationship that you've been dreaming of, and I'm glad that you received that, Melody, because I'm telling you it's for you. And I'm going to keep scoping because this is why the enemy don't want me to scope. This is why the enemy don't want me to scope, because it's real. Like, you can see this on my face. Like, I would look at some people and they get on here and they telling you all of these things, but they're not living this stuff. All right, they're not living this stuff. Thank you, Stephanie. I will. I'm living it. I have your scope is on. Are you serious, Melody? Oh man, Melody, I'm honored to know that your scope is the only one I watch. And one thing I know is you no nonsense chick. And the fact that you jump on my scope, and you too, Stephanie. Vanessa, I don't know you personally, but one thing I can honestly say, girl, yeah, I don't be watching nobody. You crazy. Because you know I'm going to keep it real with you on here. And you know that. Y'all, let me tell you something. The enemy has done such a good job of distorting our lives and our existence. You want to take him with you? Huh? So he can see that? Oh. Talking about Christopher, my little Christopher. He'll be on here probably later on with me tonight. But we are in a season right now where the Lord is changing our minds about some things. So we've grown up thinking a certain thing about ourselves and thinking that we are a certain way. You know, as a woman, I must do this, this, and that. And if I don't do this, I'm not a woman. As a black woman, I have to be this, this, and that. And if I'm not an adequate woman. You know, if I'm a mother, I have to do this. If I don't do this the way, you know, Susie Homemaker does her stuff, I'm not a good mother. You know, we put these unfair, unrealistic expectations on us. Like, Melody, this thing just dropped in my heart for you, for me, for the replay viewers. You don't have to change anything about yourself for God to bring that husband in. You just have to be open to the change that God is wanting to do in your life. You're not the one that makes the change. God makes the change. That's what the Bible says. One plants, one waters, but the Lord provides the increase. Okay? See, you're putting too much pressure on yourself to even, you know, be in that space, right? You just need to be. You need to be with you and God is going to attract that man into your life. Let me tell y'all something. I was laying on my couch depressed. My uncle had just been murdered. I had just been in a car accident that threw my back out of whack. And right after I got in the car accident, it threw me into, I got in an accident, and the way the person hit me, it threw me into the next lane. As soon as my car stopped spinning around, a big dump truck came down the road. Now, if I had gotten into that accident 10 seconds earlier, that truck would have ran me over, because the car that hit me would have pushed me right in front of that truck. All of those things happened. I'm laying on my couch Memorial Day weekend after those things happened, and somebody calls me and says, KB wants you to come to the cookout. Who is KB? See, we're going through turmoil and things like that in our lives because the breakthrough is just on the other side. It's just on the other side. And Melody, I just feel like you feeling like you got to change something about you. No, you don't. You just need to open up and let God change that. And it's not just for you, Melody. It's for me. It's for Vanessa. It's for Stephanie. It's for everybody that's going to listen on the replay. Yeah, see, and God is going to bless your honesty. He is going to bless your transparency. He is blessing your vulnerability. You see a lot of these chicks get up here, they got it together, y'all. Nothing bothers them. They are blessed in the Lord, and they are blessed and highly favored. Catch them when that scope camera not on. Ask their children how they act in their homes. Ask these men how they really are. Yes, the lies. I'm not perfect. I don't proclaim to be perfect. But what I am is doing my best to be real. As real as I possibly can. Because if my realness is going to help others out, that's why I don't want... Y'all are so sweet. Melody, I know that's right. And I'm telling y'all, it's our time. It's our time. We're going to talk more about that. And honestly, guys, if there are things that you want me to address or bring up, please don't hesitate. You can email me. I got some things going on with my website right now, but you can email me at info@beblesseddaily.com. If you're not on Facebook, Stephanie, I don't know if you're in my Heart Talk group on Facebook, but I would love for you to join. I am info. Thank you so much, Melody. I am working on some things. I'm putting some things together. My coaching program is starting on May the 30th. So this whole week, you'll be seeing a lot more things from me. I'm working on being some things at Heart Talk with Adelaide Brown. Yes, thank you so much, Melody. I am working on some things to do with the group because I want to bring to life the scopes in the group. So any suggestions you guys have of topics you want to discuss, things you want me to bring up in the group, I want to bring it up. I want to hear from the ladies. I didn't even know you had a website. I don't think I'm in the group, but I'd love to join. Okay, well, just look in the Facebook, type in Heart Talk with Adelaide, and it should come right up. And if you go into my profile picture right here on Periscope and you click that link, Stephanie, I have the book and I received the text. Okay, good. Have you been enjoying the book? Thank you so much. And I actually, I stopped doing the text messages for a while, guys. And just to kind of briefly, Vanessa, you're not familiar with this, but all of this started, yes, I gifted it to a friend of mine. Oh, thank you so much, Stephanie. I stopped doing the text messages because I realized that, a lot of times we like to take on things without releasing things, right? And the text messages is how all of this stuff got started. The text messages pretty much gave me the wind to start flying. They are literally the wind beneath my wings. But it's time to take off. And honestly, I love doing the text messages, but they were getting really taxing on me emotionally and mentally because of the time. It was very time consuming. So it will come back. But for this season right now, I took off with the text messages. I am focusing more on doing it daily via scopes, via, my interaction in Facebook and Instagram. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me at b_blessed_daily on Instagram. But I'm really getting all of those things together. One thing I'll tell you, texting keeps you, yes, it really does. And I prayed about that because we like to think that we are superwoman and exactly. And I love Periscope because with the text, you can see me. Like Periscope is like you can see me. And the text kept me in a smaller bracket. Yes, I was texting 300 people a day. But with the scopes, I have an opportunity to reach like 40 million people a day. And I'm not counting out anybody from the text messages. But it's kind of like when you outgrow a pair of shoes or you just upgrade. And it was just time for me to move on from that. That helped me build my confidence. I'm not saying that it's excluded, but for this season in my life where I am, that's just not something that I'm doing right now. But don't think that I won't. Like, I send out reminders about, like, my heart talks. And, like, I have a live heart talk with Adelaide at the Islander. It's a really nice restaurant on Daniel Island. And, Daniel Island in Charleston is a resort-type area. And it's a $20 fee for the talk. And I'll have light hors d'oeuvres and refreshments, but, those that come will be responsible for their own food and drinks. But I look at it like you would do a dinner and movie with your girlfriends, right? So why not do dinner and a heart talk? And you can go to a movie and you can enjoy yourself, or you can come to Heart Talk and really get inspired to live your life on purpose. You can come to Heart Talk and really work through some of those kinks in your life that is holding you back. Because it's not just me, but it's a group of ladies there. And it's like miracles happen when you have everyone that's involved and they want to do things and they're on the same accord. And even some people come and they don't really know what's happening. I had a lady come to Heart Talk one time and she was telling me how she had a migraine for like 3 or 4 days. She could not get rid of it. She did not know what was going on. And through the process of that hour and a half Heart Talk that I was doing, she was like, not only did her headache go away, but she felt better than she felt in like years. All because she was listening an hour and a half, listening to how she could still do it, even despite the things going on. Oh, yes, Stephanie, you will. And my goal is to do it. I want to start doing them weekly in different restaurants in different areas. I have one scheduled for the 27th at the Islander. I have another one scheduled for June the 3rd at Andolini's in West Ashley in one of their rooms. I want us to get back to really taking care of ourselves. A lot of us are waiting for a guy to take us out, or we want to complain because our husbands are so comfortable. They don't want to go to the movies anymore. They don't want to go do things. Well, why don't you take control and take action of your life and get connected with other women that are trying to do that are doing the same things. And so just the energy and all of this stuff, y'all, it's been beautiful. It's like I'm learning the back end, the business stuff, but I am able to be myself. And that is, if y'all don't get anything else from this scope, when your thoughts align with the will of God, you can truly be who you are. See, some of the relationships you had, I know a few women at home that would love to be there. I can send them the information. Oh, thank you so much. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the link to the group in the Periscope. So maybe you can invite them to Periscope, and I'll put the link to the Heart Talk in the and the link to the Heart Talk is also in the group. When you join Adelaide, Heart Talk with Adelaide, the pin post, and those ladies that you think that are interested, Stephanie, if they are on Facebook, please invite them to join the group as well, because I would love for them to be in there. Like, I want us to grow this community. If you have ladies, Melody, you too. Vanessa, if you're not in my group, I want you to join my group. If you have other ladies that would like to be involved, because I'm telling you, this Heart Talk group is about to take off. Like, it really is. I'm learning some things. I've been doing some training, some things that I want to do so that I can, look, I'm secure in my gift. You there? Okay, good. I'm secure in my gift. But the other things surrounding it are the things that I'm working on. And I used to beat myself up for that. I used to beat myself up because I wasn't so good at this or so good at that. I realized that I can be good at what I'm good at, and God will put the other people around me to complement those things, right? So just wanted to put that out there. The Heart Talk will be on the 27th at 7. And I'll be launching Anchored in Greatness officially on May the 30th. The program will be starting, so I'm really excited about that. This is going to be a fun-filled 12 weeks, and I'm really excited about that. But just staying in the vein of, if you're not comfortable where you are right now, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't judge yourself, but truly trust God in the process. Like, truly trust God in the process. Don't give up, and don't hold back. That is one of the biggest things that I had to learn. Melody, Stephanie, Vanessa, those listening on the replay, do not hold back. Give life your all, because what you give, you will get back. The Bible tells us that. Whatever a man sows, that's what he's going to reap. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe people when they tell you, you better not put all of that out there because people will take advantage of you. Let me tell you something. People cannot take advantage of you when that's what God is telling you to do. Stop listening to what these people out there are saying, and let's start trusting God. That's what we have to do. So I actually got to go, but I want to read to you guys day 142 of Anchored. I'm going to turn this around. All right, day 142. I got the book kind of wrinkled because I was holding it close to me. Don't get weary when others do you wrong, because God never sleeps. Treat others how you want to be treated, not how they treat you. You can't reap a good harvest if you are planting bad seeds. Be blessed. Now, y'all, I'm going to be very honest with you. I read this morning. I read this more than once. And I put it back down. Now, you see the conversation we just had, right? Don't get weary when others do you wrong, because God never sleeps. Treat others how you want to be treated. That's the sowing of the seeds, guys. Those are the seeds you're putting in the ground, in your ground, in the earth of your life. Not how they treat you. You can't reap a good harvest if you are planting bad seeds. Be blessed. Now, what y'all think about that? Thank you, Adelaide. I needed this talk. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Don't forget to let everyone else know about this. Y'all, Stephanie, I'm bringing Heart Talk to Puerto Rico. Vanessa, I'm bringing Heart Talk to Canada. Melody, I'm bringing Heart Talk to Colombia, and you guys hold me to it. You know why? Because if y'all are feeling me, I know there's plenty other ladies out there feeling me. And see, a lot of the things that I talk about, women are afraid to admit. And you know what? I don't feel weak because I'm admitting these things to you guys. Every time I admit this stuff to y'all, I feel strength welling up inside of me, because I know God is saying, this is how we take control of the enemy. This is how we stop the devil from stealing our joy. When we open our mouth, when we praise the Lord. These are testimonies. I'm not always the best wife, and I know that, but I'm working on it. But I'm the best wife for Kevin, because God would not have given him to me, and it would not have given me to him if I wasn't. So even when I fall short, I'm still good enough, because God says I'm good enough. Okay? Even if Kevin didn't say that I was good enough, God says that I'm good enough. So what are you saying about yourself? So this is what I want us to think about today. If you have a journal, I want you to right now, when we get off this phone, off the Periscope, I want you to go and journal every thought that's in your head. Do not judge yourself. Do not journal what you know you should be thinking. I need you to journal what you're thinking. If that means you got to write until a pen run out of ink and you use 3 pens that run out of ink, you do that. Because this is your future we're talking about. And guess what? It's the present. The future never comes, right? We only exist in the present. The past does not exist. People are like, what are you talking about? Go back to the past then. Go ahead back. I'm going to wait on it. I'm going to wait because I'm going to be here forever. Because you can't. You can't go back to it. But what you can do is you can heal some of those broken places from the past. Okay? You can heal that, and you must heal that. Exactly. You must heal that so that you can move forward and do what you need to do. See, for me and many of us, I had that negative relationship with my father, and it followed me. My daughter experienced the same thing. And I can be a big girl. See, I got my hands raised right here and say, I attracted that into my life. I was so afraid of her father deserting her until I drew that into my life. And you know why? Because I attached emotion to that fear. Just like I attached emotion to, I never been touched like this. You get what I'm saying? Does that make sense to y'all? Heart me up if that makes sense to y'all. Seriously. I attached emotion to, I never been touched like this. And I drew him into my life. I also attached emotion to, I don't want him to leave her for her to feel like how I felt. And I drew that into my life. So what are you drawing into your life? Let's stop blaming everyone else. And let's just start focusing on what God is telling us and who we are. Okay? So I love y'all. I'm going to get back on before 12 o'clock because I'm scoping twice today. I'm holding myself to that. But in the Heart Talk group, guys, if you have any topics you want us to discuss, anything, oh, Vanessa, you are welcome. And I thank you for your strength. I thank you for your support. I thank y'all for coming on here. And I'm telling you guys, this thing is like out of this world. Out of this world. What God has for us, out of this world. And I enjoyed you. I enjoyed you too, Melody. The name of the group is Heart Talk with Adelaide and Be Blessed Daily. So if you type Heart Talk in the Facebook search for groups, it should come up. But you don't have to go look for it, Stephanie. If you just go to my profile picture, if you just swipe up on your phone and click the link in my profile picture right there in the Periscope, it'll come right up. So I'm going to go in, go get my baby ready for bed, go get ready for church, and I'm going to go do some work that I'm doing because this program is launching on May the 30th. If you know anyone who needs to be anchored in their greatness, they need to get connected with me. 12 weeks of trusting the process to soar in your greatness, guys. And as you can see, I'm not out here trying to tell you how to make $10,000 on Periscope. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not out here trying to tell you how you can do this and do that. I'm not. What I'm here trying to tell you is how great you are. And I'm willing to take those steps with you so that you can realize your greatness and live in your greatness. I am so excited about this. And I want you to be excited about it. And if you know anyone who could benefit from this program, where can we go to find out more? More information will be in the group. I will have more information coming in the Heart Talk group. Be on the lookout. Those are the things that I'm working on this evening. I've actually been working and working with some people. Like I said, I've been doing some training. I've been doing some coaching or whatever to get myself prepared for it. So you will start to see a lot of things to come. So stay connected because this week is going to be a lot of things. I'm going to be running a lot of specials and things like that because I want all of us to be connected. And I really want all of us to soar. So you guys have a wonderful evening. I love y'all very much, and I will be back on tonight before midnight, so be on the lookout. Listen for your little woohoo when Addie's coming on, okay? I love y'all, and remember, you all be blessed.